San Diego Coin Council. In as of this month, this weekend, I'm the vice president of the California State Numismatist Association. The reason I'm telling you this is because I have three hobbies. The one that I love the most is growing fruits. The one that is the longest one is the coin collection. And another old one is building my own lasers. And I do have a nice collection of lasers. Okay, let's see. Did that work? Do you see the before we begin? Anyone?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, how many of you know about the Cryptococcus fungus? This is not part of the present.
Talk about himself.
Excuse me? No. It is a fungus that came, well, I'll talk about it. And the reason would like to talk about it is because it set me back considerably in many of my plans. And let's check to see how much of a candidate you are. How many of, just keep this in mind. There are five categories, 5 questions. Count how many you say yes. I don't need to know, but it's for your information. How many of you have praying birds around your garden?
Well, you say
Yeah. I see. Pigeons. Let's see, raccoons. And how many have close by eucalyptus trees?
Yes.
Yeah, well, the more you say yes to these questions, the more likely you're maybe exposed. In my case, well, let me, you can read this, but it's a type of fungus. It grows in the culture of yeast. I'm not going to go into the details, but I put this here because it's important that you understand that it's the state is the yeast state of the fungi, not the fungus itself. So it's a very interesting situation with this fungus. Here's a little bit of where it came from, and Caucus, it's a group, if you will. And then there's a specific. The one that I'm talking about is the Gatti. That's the most dangerous one. It comes from tropical Asia and Africa and Australia. It is capable of causing, like it did to me, the cryptococcuses. And what is important is that you don't have to have, my immune system was not compromised. It was healthy, but I still was not able to battle it. It has been identified that it grows very well around eucalyptus trees. It comes from the Vancouver Island, and it moved down the Pacific Northwest down to.
They're not endemic to Vancouver Island.
Excuse me? Oh, anyway, there was a very serious outbreak there in Canada, and eventually Washington State, and we have it now in San Diego. Back in 2000, well, I'm jumping. Back in 2014, I was cleaning my backyard, and about a week later, I started with a mild cough. My doctor said, there's nothing to worry about it. Here's some something for the cough, and go home. Well, I waited too long, and that's my fault. I kept calling, hey, doctor, this is not okay. In early November, the coughing got worse. I went to see him, and my forehead, this part of the head was pop out like this. So it was kind of roundish. That should have indicated to the doctor that I was having a little bit of meningitis, but I had a bad doctor. I have to say that. I went finally, he said, well, all I can do is send you to get a CT scan, and that's it. I don't know. You just take some medication, painkillers, and cough suppressant, which he had given me before. As I was leaving for the CT scan, I had my speech became blurry. And fortunately, I talked with the secretary, and she was immediately said, you know what, you have to take him to the emergency room. This was at Vanderbilt, and they took me to Kaiser Zion, and they didn't go out. 19 days, and I was diagnosed with cryptococcal meningitis, pneumonia, in which in turn caused something called pulmonary alveolar proteinosis. Basically, my lungs kept washing themselves, trying to eliminate the fungus that it was inside my lungs. I'm still not out of the woods. I'm still taking medication, but I'm much better. The level of the fungus in my blood is what they call it detectable but not measurable. So it's very, very low. But if I don't take my medication, that may grow up. I'm not contagious. That's something important. A lot of people, oh, you may be contagious. So this is what I wanted to share tonight. Protect yourself. Whenever you're working on the garden, use a simple dust mask. That will be enough. Do not encourage raccoons in your garden. We have a lot of raccoons. I love those animals. I really do. They are semi-domesticated here. They are not aggressive, but it's very probable that the infection I got came from a dropping. Because I noticed back that September that I noticed some little poop that it was not normal to my dogs or to my garden, and I kept raking. So in the raking, I got it in. Another thing is because of it, also the birds of prey or the pigeons are carriers. Wash your fruit before eating it. It is a lot of, including myself. Oh, I can eat fresh fruit from the tree. Oh, not anymore. Do not bring shoes inside your home. If you step on a dry pool of raccoon, you're gonna carry that fungus inside. And do not hesitate. I did hesitate to see the doctor. With that, well, let's go on. There was something else, but I'll remember. What you're gonna see tonight is something that some of you, so when I was chairman back in 99, we wanted to bring more people to be more interested in growing rare fruits. And when you say a rare fruit, they don't really know what we're talking about, and we'll talk about that. But it was more of an introduction, encouragement to start growing fruit. We had a good attendance, and it was 5 monthly meetings before the start of the meeting, so I can basically take them into the meeting, invite them to the meeting, and we had quite a good increase in membership. Tonight I can't do that because it was 5 hours total of this, and it was more hands-on. We had some practice on determining the type of soil. They will bring their soil in mason jars, and we measure to see what type of soil they had. We did some testing for phosphate, NPK, and some heavy metals and nutrients, mostly nutrients. So what you're going to see is a summary. I'm going to skip some things that we did. So let me now start. This is the agenda. We're going to look at what CRFG is all about. What is a red fruit? Review of the subtropical zones. how you can select for your garden. And that's the focus. That's, for me, is the important thing that I hope I can encourage you to select proper fruit trees for your garden. And I'm not going to talk about monitoring the health of the tree. That's a different process. I'm just going to kind of make sure that it has a little bit of, depending on the time, I'll go in detail or not. But it's somebody raised hands. I can't see anybody, so.
Hi, yes, thank you. I think someone else in the group got bumped out and they said that they're in the waiting room, but they can't get back into the meeting.
Oops, John, help. Good.
So Jose, if you look on your screen, there should be the minutes where the participants. Do you have the participant board?
Let's get out of here. I see.
Oh.
Let me see if I can. Oh, here, I can move it on.
There should be somebody admit above the list of names.
Bob?
If you set up your meetings as co-host, then one person can do the admissions while the other is
That's right.
speaking.
Don't see any admit. I see mostly names here.
Yeah, they may have gotten bumped.
Okay, no, that's a phone call. No, that's it. I'm sorry, but
Okay. They pop up, you know, the admitter.
okay. If somebody calls back again and wants to get in, you're welcome to stop me, by the way. Raising your hand was a good idea. Thank you. So let me continue. Oops. Okay. So, shoot. Oops. On the start. Okay. So one thing that I would love to talk about is what Robin started talking about. It's about the most important part of the tree is healthy root. And we did go through that, and we did some testing during the workshops. Okay, as for the purpose of the California red fruit growers, I love this description. I'm going to read it, even though it's there. To encourage and foster public and scientific interest, research, education, and the preservation of rare fruit plants that have edible seeds, fruits, leaves, stems, or roots, and are not commonly grown commercially. The forensic and the encouragement of these activities shall be for the benefit of the public rather than commercial interest. And reality is that it's found some commercial interest. It's not the intent of the fruit growers to profit out of this in this purpose, but it's okay. Our membership include nationally recognized botanical gardens and noted international horticulture researchers, as well as hobbyist commercial growers and representatives from institutions of higher learning. The reason I'm doing this is because there's a little bit of misconcept of really what CRFG is all about. And it's for the chapters, it's there to help us. For the members, it has a wealth of information that it's available to the members. Unfortunately, one of the things that I really miss is the seed program that got basically canned. But, you recognize anybody in this picture? Robin, that you recognize somebody next to you in this picture?
Yeah. Yep, John Verdick and yeah.
Jim Neisel and
Yep.
Vice President. Okay, somebody's raising their hands. Okay, so let me see.
Sorry, Jean says she's in the waiting room again.
Okay, let me go into the see if I can.
John, if you retain yourself as the host and make Jose the sub-host, I think, or co-host, I think you can let people in.
Yeah,
Give it a shot.
we don't have that option. I guess we're just gonna have to upgrade because it makes it hard on the speaker.
That's okay.
It's not an upgrade, it's in your settings, but you have to set up the meeting that way.
Yeah, they have to put in their email address. I guess that's what it is.
I don't see anybody on my list as waiting or. Let's see, I'm going through the names.
She's getting a message and it says, please wait, the meeting host will let you in soon. Jose Miguel Gallego, sub, Tropical Rare Fruits, 12/2/2020.
That's the name of a meeting. Yeah.
So I'm not sure.
You want to make me the host for a second, Jose?
How do we go about it? Let me
Click on my name.
let me shrink the screen. Come on. There you go. Okay. Let me see if under participants.
Yeah, that's where it should be.
Oh, okay. Here you go. So Jane.
Yeah, you got it.
Okay. Okay, just in case there are two of her. So she should be in now.
All right, we're rolling again.
Let me know if there's anybody else. I'll leave the list here on top of in front of me. So anyway, there's been a lot of good programs in this chapter, and I really like the chapter. I've been through most of the chapters in California, and I think the friendliest one is San Diego. Let me move some of it so I can read it. So what makes growing a rare fruit so important? New fruit are constantly being discovered or developed into new cultivars with possibilities of commercial ventures for California fruit growers, producers. Also, to preserve the rare fruits from becoming extinct due to the mindless exploitation of areas such as the rainforest. I had a very interesting experience. That's why I included that. Is that I had a research chemist that we were in Brazil that we were talking about one thesis that on a thesis that he was working, and out of curiosity, I asked him, "Hey, is it true what the newspaper is talking about Brazil and in the rainforest and how much damage is being caused?" No. The news. It's horrible. It is in incredibly damaging. The rainforest it's incredibly being damaged by people that want the trees for wood and
Farmer, yeah.
So it's not as simple as one would expect. So I was impressed with the way that he let me know. Let's talk about a fruit is considered to be rare because normally it's not grown in a particular area. This is the jaboticaba.
Jaboticaba.
Yeah, this at one time because comes from Brazil. It was thought that it would be it will not grow here because it was thought it was more tropical. I have one jaboticaba, the red one. I lost one, purple one. And it's amazing. If you haven't eaten one, it's amazing flavor. The skin is a little bit hard.
Tough.
Exactly. But when you bite into it, it kind of rips apart and it releases a little bit of acidity, and then you get the fresh flavor of the fruit. And it's amazing to see these trees growing fruit on the trunk. There are others that do the same thing, but to see the marbles attached to the trunk is beautiful. In Guadalajara, I had the opportunity to see large trees grown there. Also, a fruit is considered to be rare because it's scarce or about to be extinct. Believe it or not, the cherimoya, we are used to it, but the reality is that it's not that easy to grow. We're fortunate to have a subtropical area. We'll talk about that later. And be able to have this, it's not rare, but it is scarce. It's difficult to transport, say, from Guaymas, Mexico, which has a nice tropical area, to Tijuana or even to the United States, because it gets very easily damaged. However,
Very fragile.
very fragile. The skin is, once it matures, it becomes very, very soft. This one is from Paul Thompson's. It's Selma. It's the pink cherimoya. I had the opportunity to go with Paul to his previous land, and he walked us around, and sure enough, we pig out on Selma cherimoya. Very, very nice flavor. It's not the best, but it was good, and it was very. This photo doesn't really show the pinkage. It should have had a white background to really bring up the pinkish color. Juicy like heck. What? Banana? Sure. This came out in 2016. Why bananas, as we know them, might go extinct again? This was CNN. I'm not going to go into the politics of fake news or anything like that, but it's a very true situation. I'll read it for you. They tasted better, they lasted longer, they were more resilient, and did not get artificial ripening. They didn't require. They were, simply put, a better fruit because they belonged to a different species of cultivar in banana parlance. It was called the grove, Michel, and it's French there, Michel. And remained the world's export banana until 1965. I remember when I was a kid, we had this delicious bananas, and I used to live back in the early 60s in Mexicali, and then we moved to Rosarito and then to Tijuana. And about that time frame, all of a sudden the bananas changed flavor. They were not as sweet. You had to wait until they ripe because they do taste a little bit astringent if not ready. That year, 1965, was declared commercially extinct due to the Panama disease and fungal disease that started out from Central America and quickly spread to most of the world commercial bananas, but patients leaving no other choice but to burn them down to destroy the disease and the fungus. Commercially, it was settled with the Cavendish cultivar, which was the inferior product. The Gros Michel is still alive, but genetically speaking, is stored in Switzerland. So their hope is that it can be brought up by what we were talking before the meeting, by a tissue culture and bring it back again. But unfortunately, the Panama disease is is worldwide. Something similar to what is happening with the COVID-19. it's got spread around the world, and it's not quite extinct, but it cannot be cultivated because it will, most of the Panama disease is all over the world. What is a red fruit? A fruit is considered to be red because of unusual properties. One that I like to talk about is the miracle fruit, which changes your sense of taste. I had a little tree, a bushlet in a large container, and when I had people come to visit and they were ripe, well, I tried to make an event, either a chapter event or family to come in and enjoy the miracle fruit. What I would do, and if I know that some of you have miracle fruit, I will put 3 glasses on the table and pour into the first glass water, then orange juice. I try to make it freshly squeezed, and there's a reason for that, and I'll explain in a minute. And a bit of beer, enough so that they can get to gulps of it. And I ask them to taste them first. Water, no flavor. Orange juice, a little bit of kick, acidity, nice Valencia oranges. And beer, regular flavor of the beer. However, once I gave them the
Miracle fruit.
the fruit, I will ask them to get the tongue wet with the fruit itself, the tissue, and let it stay. Don't swallow it yet until everything in their mouth got exposed to the fruit, and then they can swallow. Next was to try the water again. And the reaction was, who put in sugar to the water? Because all of a sudden it tasted like somebody put a tablespoon of water and mixed it up. Very sweet. The water became sweet.
Yeah.
Orange juice became unusual flavor. It tasted more like those hard candy orange flavor. There was no acidity, a little kick. And beer, guess how it tasted? I think the best way to describe it, because I almost got hit, is like an old musky wet towel, kind of chewing on it.
Yeah.
Because it now, what the miracle fruit does is brings sweetness, the sweet part. So the water tasted sweet, the orange juice tasted much sweeter, like a candy. And beer, oh, it's an odd combination of having sugar in your ear. In addition, it tones down the acidity. So that's why the orange juice tasted more like a hard candy than a real orange. And beer has a little bit of acidity and make the flavor turn out to be really horrible.
Jose,
Yes.
about, I think it's probably 10 years ago or so, in our chapter, we did a little test on the miracle fruit, and someone ate the piece of miracle fruit, and then they gave them cut up onion, but they had a blindfold on them. And they couldn't tell that that was the taste of the onion because it made the
Yes.
onion taste sweet. That was in the chapter, got to have been 10 years ago or so, but it was a very interesting thing. And then to let them see what they were eating after the blindfold came off.
There's a lot of other things that you can do with the miracle fruit. The onion fish, my God, that's the worst thing I can. A sweet fish. The beer was horrible, but the tasting the fish, I didn't dare do it again because it tastes really bad. Yeah, that I remember that the onion thing. Geez, back out again. Okay, give me a minute. I'm gonna admit her again. Okay. The other reason is a new species has been introduced or discovered. One example is the Butcholokia family of hot peppers. The Butcholokia broke the record of the 1 million Scoville units. Very hot, very hot. I love this pepper. I'll explain why. And peppers are a fruit. That's why I included this one. This is the Scoville heat unit. On your right, you'll see from top to bottom pure capsaicin, pepper spray. Now the hotter than the Butcholokia is the scorpion family of the peppers. Chocolate doesn't have anything to do with the chocolate. The chocolate 7, it's brown. And Butcholokia was the one that really attracted commercially in this extremely hot pepper. I'm going to show you a little video just for the heck of it.
Good morning, and welcome to Happy Little Recipes. I'm your host, Ian Eric Okinawa. We've got a very exciting show for you today. We'll be creating several dishes from the Great Pepper Cookbook, created by our friends over at Melissa's. Now, this book is about something I think is very underrated, our friend the pepper. Now, people just do not realize how adaptable the pepper is. Let's get some examples out here. Shelly's, come on out. Shelly and Shelly, my assistants, are going to bring out some delicious, delicious meals that we prepared earlier.
I'm not sure if you can hear me, but notice the sign below the lady that has the 2 plates. It says smile. And on the other stream is, I think, hot or hotter. You will see that. But it's important that you see that sign because of what's going to happen.
And who gets to eat those? But our happy little tasters. Please welcome Connie and Dwayne. They're friends of my siblings. This is our crab and hatch
Oops, that was me. Sorry.
chili jalapeno poppers. Then the vegetarian banh mi. And a naughty little dessert at the end, the margarita chili cheesecake bars. Then we wash it all down with the red hot lemonade.
Oh, I love that.
There is so much variety with peppers, from the classic bell pepper to habaneros and long hots. You can also cook with dried and pickled chilies. Now, here's something I love to talk about, the Scoville scale. It's sort of a heatometer. It tells you exactly how spicy a chili is. That way a chef doesn't overspice or underspice a dish. But look at this, from mild to wild, just like the scale. Well, I can't help myself. I'm going to have a little bite right now. Oh, what?
Uh-oh.
Okay, so let's make some French toast. You're going to add in 2/3 cup of whole milk, a little pinch of sugar, and a dash of vanilla. And ooh, oh my! God, for a mild pepper, it has a lot of spice. Oh, very. Signs are switching. Lady, scorpion pepper.
Sorry, somebody needs to be admitted again. Okay, sorry.
Oh, it's just burning. I think I need some milk. It's very spicy pepper that I ate. Very? God, that did nothing. Oh, it's so much on fire. I touched my eye, Barry. It's in my eye. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, it's up inside my eyeball. Oh, God. Oh, God. Everywhere. There's some distractions in the room. You gotta be paying attention to your toes. Flip that too soon, flip it too soon. The Great Pepper Cookbook is available on melissas.com. Our great friends at Melissa's made a really great book.
Actually, this is really good.
You can find Melissa's The Great Pepper Cookbook at melissas.com and retailers nationwide.
Anyway, let me go back. The one that he had, and I'm sorry for the interruption, he had the scorpion. I'm not sure if it was the Trinidad or the Moruga scorpion, but it's up there. What I'm trying to let you know, guys, is that also one needs to be careful when you introduce fruit to people that are not familiar with some fruit. They may have, they may not like it. They may have reactions to it. So be thoughtful about having people try your fruit that have never tried it before. It's risky, but that's okay. This one, it's the durian. We know that. We see it at the 99 cents. I do go and buy fresh when they have them available. My wife doesn't like that because she says it smells like gas, stove gas. But it's not as extinct. However, we cannot grow it here. And I think it's a wonderful flavor, but that's my opinion. Durian Great Olin, it's a very rare one. It's a red durian. I have yet to see it. It's not, and obviously much less to have tasted. But there's a family of different durians, a series of varieties of the durian. There's the yellow, the orange, and the deep orange, and obviously the red one. This was the first photo that somebody took and shared with me, and I was, oh my God, that looks like kidneys, and it smells like hell. So having somebody convinced to eat this, it may not be simple. Anyway, the other one is that it's a species that is not normally grown. The ice cream bean. Quail Garden had one. I grew one in front of my house. In about 6-7 years, I basically cut it down at the age of 8 years because the span of the tree, I planted on the front of the house, and it went about 60 feet in each direction around the front of the house, including the street, which I had to prune, and it went over the guava tree that we have out there. So all the trees, and on the other side I had the lucma. The tree was pushing it, and it created a nice canopy that you will walk into our house. But I was concerned about the root. I don't know if you had tasted. Some of us had the opportunity. It doesn't taste like ice cream, but it does have a vanilla flavor. And after you eat maybe 3-4, you begin to feel your teeth clean. It's a very special sensation. Almost like when you go to the dentist and get them clean. That sensation, not hurting the gums or anything, just the surface of the teeth. The bit cucumber, that's from Hawaii. It's an old fruit It's about 500 years old, but it's now being tried for a while. The leaves and the stems are being brought up into dishes. Now, this one has, I have this since I think around 2000. Somebody sent me a picture and asking me what it was and whether it was edible or not. And if you notice, it looks like a blue grape bubblegum with a stem on the top, a great stem. I haven't looked more recently, but I still don't know what it is and whether or not it's edible. But it's a beautiful. I think it looks like blue pearls. Okay, now I'm going to be talking about the tropical zone that we have here in San Diego. I'll cover a little bit of the zones, but I'm going to focus on the zone number 23, and then later on about your garden microclimates. I put this because this is the plant hardiness map, and really is very confusing, hard to read. If you look at the left, you see the colors, but you have numbers. It's not, I don't memorize numbers with temperatures or zones. So you have to really look close to it. Let me go to the next one. This is a oversimplified version. We have in here 6 zones in the county of San Diego. The marine number 1, which is the marine layer type of climate, or also called Mediterranean. Then number 4 is more or less a subtropical. And then we have, as we go up into the mountains, the different ones. Number 18 is very interesting. It's a subtropical desert climate. So that, because of that, it is easy to grow mangoes over there, pitahayas, and other fruits. This is the old sunset map. I put it here because it keeps getting better. If you look at the of El Cajon La Mesa, it's in the, at that time it was in area 23. It was kind of a subtropical, but later on it got changed. It got moved out of the 23 into a 22 because of the way the wind comes in from the ocean through, well, I can put it on Highway 8 into El Cajon, and also the weather that comes down from the mountains. These are the 10 zones in San Diego, county of San Diego. The most important ones, really, it doesn't mean that they are unique or anything. It's where you can grow some of the subtropical plants, trees in plants, obviously, too. This came out of the Union Tribune, and it's an excellent map. It's very nice. I like it. So take a look at those areas and see where you live, and we'll cover this in a few minutes. This is the same map, but cleaned up from all the signs and stuff like that. Zone number 22, which is around El Cajon. It's a cold winter portion of Southern California, coastal climate. It's inland, but it's coastal. Lows in the 20s to 25s. If you live in zone number 23, which is a subtropical, it's the temperatures varied in the winter from 34 to 27. It's called the subtropical band. And the last one we're going to cover is the zone 24, which is the Mediterranean band, which is it's a little bit warmer, more stable, 44 to 24. However, because of the salt in the cold, when we get fog, it's not really good for some fruit trees. Okay, why is important? Well, it's important that you kind of try to identify what can you grow in your garden. If you're in area 22, well, there's a list that will tell you what type of fruits you can grow. You live in area 23, there's another bunch, and then on number 24, it kind of guides you as to really what average temperatures you need to grow some certain trees. In also determine what part of your land is sunny and which ones are going to be shady. Also, is it humid? The ground is humid for whatever reasons, or is it dry? This is where I live, so it's not getting a good sign. Okay, so let's skip this one. Come on, skip. This is where I live, and it kind of shows those things that I was talking about. If you notice where the shadow of the palms are, right into the inside of was the Inga, the ice cream bean tree, and it was pushing all the way to the tree on the left. That was the rose apple, and the on your right is the I forgot the name. I'll remember, but that's another tree. That's the extent of the how big it turned out to be. Now, if you look on the top, you'll see a dry area. That is very dry, very hot, very sunny area. So it is difficult to grow certain trees, and I'll get to that in a way. This picture was taken in I'm guessing in winter. I'm not sure, but there was no lawn. We have lawn in there. To the see the pool that my neighbor has on the right. That's where my line of cactus. They're covered by the tree, my neighbor's tree. And up in the top, it's all of the different trees that I have. Oops. So determine your high and low in your garden. You can do that by, it's not what the channel or the news reports the temperature. You need to be specific to your garden. So your measurement has to be of your garden. You will notice where the sunny and shady areas are. In my case, a shady area is where you see my neighbor's big tree on the left, and on the right, on the right, where it says One Rail Drive, that's another shady area. And in that area, it tends to be humid and, if you will, a little bit wet. Yeah, even in summer times. There's because of the irrigation system. So we kind of tone down the amount of water that I use in that area. So how do you select a rare fruit tree for your garden? Okay, there are 6 steps, and I'll go quickly through them. There's a guide that it's that you will see in a little bit. It's an excellent guide to choose your fruit trees. Taste the fruit before you decide to grow it, because you may not like it. There's also a visit local nurseries, and sometimes they will allow you to try the trees that you're looking for. If they have the fruit, please ask permission to try it. I had the opportunity to. I was in Alpine, and there's a nursery, I forgot the name, and they had some Japanese citrus trees, and they're quite rare, and they're more of delicatessen type of fruits. So I asked permission to try both of them, and they were very nice, and I did buy one of them. Look into gardening books. I'll talk a little bit about that. Learn about what there are the requirements, if it will grow in decomposed granite or it has to be in what you call it, a hard soil. And purchase your trees from local nurseries or even chapter friends. This is the one I was talking about. This is in my modest opinion, is the best piece of information that anybody should have. It was printed a long time ago by David and Tina Silver of Papaya Nursery. They summarize it very nicely into the point that it was, oops, I got something, sorry. That you can use by, see that where it says coal areas, 24 minimums and 29 minimums, and it has lists a whole bunch of unusual trees. Lukma, number 17, is the one that I was talking about that I have in the front. My brain died on me for a minute there. So I if you like to, I can send you a copy of this document. Just shoot me an email. You'll see my email toward the end. And the reason I was talking about that it was important to look at the temperatures, at the areas and their temperatures, is because it matches very nicely this list of what you can have. Here it is, the full list. Really, I have a whole bunch of extra print out, so I can share with you. Well, I'll do that quick. I'm going to speed up the presentation just by talking about some of the areas and some of the fruit that we can grow here in San Diego. Jujube is a Chinese fruit, date fruit. They call it Chinese date. It's very it's crunchy like an apple. It almost tastes like an apple, but it has it's an incredible tasting. I'm going to pause for a minute. My dog is barking. I apologize for that. I just scared the dog. So, I'm sorry about that. Anyway, there are different varieties of the jujube. The Li and the Lang are the most common ones, but there's a whole bunch of these. My favorite fruit is the pomegranate. I love pomegranates. I have 32 cultivars that I'm growing in. Dave Jets and I share some cuttings between us in the past, and now and then we talk about those. They are our favorite. Carob is the next best thing to chocolate. Unfortunately, there's a worm that can a larvae, I don't know what it is, that will go inside and start eating the fruit inside. I like Caro. It's a different tasting chocolate. That's the way I see it. Figs. Most of you know that we have hundreds of different types of figs. They can be grown here, and that's why we have a collection by some of these nurseries of wonderful figs. This is the one that I like to impress my family because of the size of the mulberry. Normally, it's about the size of a thumb finger, maybe they're about an inch. These can grow pretty large, and it has a very strong, delicious mulberry flavor to it. All kinds of citrus. There are we're in the subtropical, so you have a lot of options of what type of citrus that you can grow. I'm not going to go much more in detail. Suriname cherry. This is another delicious, but you have to be careful what variety you select, because some of them have a bitter aftertaste. So for me, the purple ones are the sweetest one. But other people like that bit of bitterness to it. Pitahaya, thanks to Paul Thompson, so he is the one that promoted to cultivate these, and he cross-pollinated and developed a whole bunch of those. And it was interesting to chat with him as how he thought about mixing this with that one. So he was hoping that this will come out. Very, very interesting chats that I had with him. Longan lychee. Lychee is a little bit difficult, but it's doable. Longan is very easy. One of the trees that I have in front of the house is a longan, and it produces a lot of fruit. For some reason, last year, it produced hundreds of bunches. We don't consider the sapote rare, but it was at one point the sapotes family, the white sapote, the green sapote, the yellow sapote, the chico sapote, all of them came in and became popular. Just in case you don't know, sapote means fruit in the language of the Aztecs. And the way they describe it was by the color. White sapote, black sapote got translated into English, but the word sapote, it remained. So white fruit, yellow fruit, black fruit. This is interesting for me because it's the same fruit, lemon guava and strawberry guava. They're not really guavas, but they have different flavors. If you look at them, the color changed, but the flavor is also different. I love that. I already talked about the jaboricaba. I hope that by a couple of years from now, I get the red one. I did get one jaboricaba back in the days when we pull out when the trees from the zoo were pulled out and eventually got stored at Southwestern College. And after several years, they requested that we remove them. So we had an auction of those trees because we didn't have a place to put them. I don't remember the exact number, but it was close to 100 full-grown trees. I got one jaboricaba, but never rare, and it doesn't have the surface of the jaboricaba.
They're very slow growing and takes a long time to fruit on the jaboricaba.
Absolutely, yes. And in this jaboricaba, I think I have it since 2000. So it's almost 20 years and nothing. But I keep feeding it. I keep pampering. In hopes it does have the leaves of the jaboricaba, so it's there. I'm still hopeful. I haven't chopped it down. One fruit that I was when I was in Guadalajara, I was told that it was impossible to grow outside southern Mexico. Guess what? It is, and it's because it's a subtropical. Guadalajara is a subtropical zone. They do have jaboricabas, they do have guavas, pomegranates, and can go on and on because it's subtropical. But I love the some of the guavas that they have over there, and I was told, no, you can't. Well, that put a challenge in my mind to see if it was not really possible. So I have a couple of those. Passion fruit. That's one of the other favorite of mine. I know some of you have been involved in the development of these fruits. Bob being one of them, and other members that I haven't seen for a long time, work in cross-pollinating and coming up with interesting varieties. Like I say, cherry moya was not thought of that was going to be possible to grow here, but it's acclimated, it grows. We have varieties already here, so varieties of cultivars. Lucma, it's one of my favorite ones. It's in front of the house. Unfortunately, this summer got severely sunburned because it's located in the hot spot. And then on top of that, we have white rock, and it burned half of the tree. It's recovering, and it's still producing fruit, so we're okay. It looks like, it doesn't look in this picture, but from far away, it looks like a avocado tree. And but when you cut it open, there's a big seed inside, and it looks like a sweet potato. And it has a texture of a sweet potato, much softer, but it is something like that. But the interesting thing is the flavor. The best I can describe it is a maple syrup type of flavor.
Does it taste a lot like the meme or mamia sapota, Jose?
No, but you brought up a good look-alike. Yes, it looks like the mamey sapote, but it doesn't taste like the mamey. It has more of that Canadian maple syrup flavor to it. So the best way to prepare it, in our case, is that we get a load of those and we put it in the blender, mix it with ice cream, put it back in the refrigerator, and it's an excellent ice cream. That's the way we store it and eat it later on during the year. By the way, if you have questions, just go ahead. I cannot see you guys right now, but I'm in a roll here. One of this one, jambalan, I have very good memories of it because the first time I was exposed to it, it was at the 1996, I think it was 1997 Fruit Festival, and I got a good one. The lady Isabel from the Orange County, and now the Orange County chapter. That area, she belongs to several of those chapters. Say, try it. You're gonna love it with this enthusiasm that she gave me. Try this one, and it was like the one on the middle, the dark color, purple color. It was delicious. I planted it, but I lost that tree back in 2016 when I got ill. So I'm gonna plant it back again. Sapodilla. where the bubble gum came from, the original bubble gum. I have a tree, it grows, and it does produce. It's like the mamey sapote, but a little bit sweeter, and also sandy, if you will. The pineapple. I never thought I was going to be able to grow a pineapple here because it's supposed to grow only in Hawaii or places that are very tropical. But I got the variegated version, and at one time I saw something similar. I had a two-headed plant, two pineapples growing, so I was very impressed. And I lost this one too, by the way. But I'm looking for this again. It was very sweet, and a little bit of acidity, but it was a great flavor. And it was very original. Another one that I like is the Malabar chestnut. This was also in the front of the house. It tastes like a peanut, and once the nuts inside are ready, it pops up and explodes. Nobody's gonna get hurt. It throws the nuts on the ground, but you can hear a pop when it happens. And our bedroom was next to it, so I knew when it was ready for me to go and pick up. I like the rose apple mostly because of the freshness. It's very fresh. It only produces one narrow time frame. So this one, it is on the bottom left of our house. So I encourage the kids in the neighborhood to come and pick it up. Actually get it from the tree, because once it drops, it gets damaged and soft instead of being crunchy. This is one that it would be a wonderful fruit that it would become a commercial, but it doesn't hold up the transportation, and it's a heavy producer. There was a time that Alfonso was very difficult to get. I have not pursued it, getting this specific mango, but mangoes was another thing that, oh no, you cannot grow mangoes in San Diego, Tijuana area. But sure enough, there's a lot of varieties of mangoes from very delicious to exquisite, like the Alfonso. Bananas, my God. We have a lot of different varieties of bananas that all of them can grow here, except for the blue ones, the ones that tend to be more tropical. But plenty of room to choose bananas. I'm not going to say it properly, but the white aloha, it's a Hawaiian banana is my favorite. It's not the same as the Gros Michel, but it's quite good. Another one, coffee only grows on tropical South America. Well, no, the snows prove that. And my God, my mind went blank. I remember some of the old members used to grow these. Sure enough, it can be grown here in San Diego.
Dick and Alice Snow grow a lot of coffee at their place in Casa de Oro.
Yes, and they unfortunately they took out some of them, and with John in picking up some pops from their grounds, and to my surprise, that big coffee tree is no longer there. So yeah, it's good coffee. She used to bring it to the meetings. Uh, Obviously, not in this size, but jackfruit can be grown here. There's cultivars that are smaller size, and these huge ones requiring to be more in the tropical than in the subtropical temperatures. There's a lot of more fruits that I can talk about that can be grown here in San Diego. The carambola, the che, the papayas, and obviously the avocado. It's something that early days of California, they didn't think they would grow. The loquats. Let's go back to if you decide that you sow something like the jambalan, just or the lukma, you like that type of tree in your house. Well, go and do tasting. There used to do a lot of tours to the Asian markets, and we used to buy and sit outside instead of going to the country. We like Peggy and Jim to a certain part, and the Guggenheims used to go travel and bring the fruit, and the reason for those trips were to enjoy the fruit and then discover. That was the exciting part of those trips. When we had the Festival of Fruit back in '98, and I forgot around 2004, the second one, we did tours of the markets in Tijuana, and maybe not, it's not possible at this time, but maybe in the future we can do one of those trips that we used to do, and go and enjoy the fruit down south. Some of those fruit it cannot be crossed because of the bugs. We can always clean them up and eat them, but they will not get past the border. One very nice place to go and visit is Ranch 99 in Zion Market across the street. Visit your local nurseries, and like I said, you can taste the fruit that way. Ask, don't pull. At one time, some of the chapters got the reputation of people stealing their fruit from the trees. It's no longer the case, but nobody's going to say no unless it's the only tree that is fruiting, and they want to show it off. Be nice to those guys. To learn about the rare fruit trees, you can use several resources. The Sunset Western Garden Book, obviously the California Rare Fruit Growers pages. They're good sources of information to give you an idea of how to cultivate them and take care of them. But the guides, the fruit facts are incredibly well documented as to what the fruits are, how to take care of them. Learn before you get into any fruit trees. Learn about the requirements. Like we said, the maximum, minimum temperatures, the type of soil that they require. Something that is very true. Once you put the tree inside the hole, if you will, make sure that it has plenty of compost or organic material, so the roots and the bacteria that grows in there, it would be nutrients for those trees. Pest control, try to be safe, try to be, you may be poisoning yourself. There's a lot of natural ways of taking care of bugs by simple soap solutions, to diluted vinegar and so on. Learn about those. What bugs attract this plant. Like I was talking about the carob tree. I don't know what bug ruined the ones at the San Diego Botanical Garden. This is a little bit of, I'm going to skip through it really fast. Monitor the health of your tree. It may be wise that you do it just once, not every month. But if you think something's going on, get it analyzed. I know some places here in San Diego that can do, if not free, at a minimum cost. These are the type of analyses that should be done. And from there, you can decide what amendments you're going to have to add to it. One of the most important things is that the tree has the right amount of water. And the cheapest way to measure, the cheapest device that you can find to measure the humidity or how wet is the roots around the roots of the tree is stick your finger. The finger, you need to train your finger to distinguish between soaking wet and almost dry soil. But it goes as far as 2-3 inches and gives you an idea of how much water it needs or how much it had already. It's a good tool. Don't use one of those equipments that has a pH meter and a conductivity meter, because neither one, well, the conductivity does give you a little bit of reading about the salinity, but not about the amount of water. Those things don't give you the pH, by the way. I'm a chemist and I can tell you, don't buy those things. It has two pieces of metal rods sticking out of the bottom. Okay, pH, most trees like it around 6.5, 7.2. Don't use acid to change the pH or caustic compounds. They are very neutral compounds. You can adjust the pH by just using some compost, and it will bring the pH to this range. How to measure it? A pH piece of paper. You don't have to be exact. It doesn't need to be 7.23 versus 7.0. Salinity, is the amount of salts, and it measures chlorides, sulfates, carbonates, and all of those soluble. In the workshops, we did some testing of these, and it was actually fun to see how people thought that they had problems or didn't have problems. Conductivity meter is very inexpensive and just tells you the overall. It doesn't tell you what it has. What to do with the fruit? Besides eating the fruit fresh, I think is the most enjoyable way to do it. But if you have a large crop and you want to spice up your plates, your food, there are different books available. Okay, the green one by James Darley. It's an excellent book, and it's free right now. You get it. You go to his website, and it will give you a link to Google's books. And normally it's about $75, which is quite expensive. I have talked with him in the past. Maybe we can have him as a speaker one of these days. He's in Australia, but with now that the world has shrunk because of video conferencing, maybe we can invite him to talk about how he came up with all these recipes. Another one is the mostly made fruit with fruit. That's from the Orange County chapter. it's an incredible book. I mean, I'm amazed that it's available for downloading. There's the website. It's a PDF file. And then I couldn't find it on the website, CRFG website, the recipe book. It's $8, but I couldn't find it. The links are, a lot of links are broken at this point. For more information, there are other chapters besides San Diego. San Diego chapter, well known because of the origins of CRFG, is from San Diego. We have a lot of good fruit growers, and some of them are present tonight. I'm not going to name you guys because there's a lot, and all of you have my respect as to the experience that you have and the knowledge that you have shared with us. Thank you. The California Red Fruit Growers website is another source of information. It's right now it is being modified, and so some links are not working, and some old links that you find on Google will still work, but you will see the old website. Local master gardeners, the county, local nurseries. We have very good nurseries for rare fruit. I hope once the situation that we're living in allow us to do the local nursery visits. We would rent a bus and go visit the nurseries. We had a lot of fun doing that. University of Riverside supports the chapters down in Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego. So it's another good source. I'm available if you have any questions. You can email me or call me. If you want a copy of that, the Silvers article, let me know and I'll send you a copy, a PDF file. And basically, what we covered today is what is the California red fruit growers, what is a red fruit. We review the subtropical zones. We talk about selecting a little bit about selecting the fruit trees. Monitoring, I didn't go much into details because of the time limitation, and what to do. And basically, eat it fresh. It's healthy. It's the best thing. Just be careful when you share it. People may be allergic. Like for instance, we had a member that was allergic to the black sapota. He was swelled up, and he didn't know until he tasted. Anyway, let's go into questions. If I'm done with this, how do I unshare? Let's go up here. No, not. Okay, I need help here.
So you click on my name.
Your name, okay. Okay, and
then it has choices. You can click on more, I think it is. Is it more? And then
yes,
it'll say make me host again.
make co-host. Yes.
May I add one comment additionally?
Yeah.
The specialty produce website has a dossier on fruits from all over the world. Bob has flown around the world and collected all kinds of subtropicals. He did a presentation to our chapter probably 3-4 years ago, and they have a very good little website with many entries of different tropical fruits at specialtyproduce.com.
produce.com. I'll visit that. I'll take a look at that.
And Frank Burkhart put up a thing in the question and answers. Papaya Tree Nursery has a guide to choose rare fruit trees for your yard.
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one that I was showing. That's from the original owners, if you will.
Oh, that's who that was?
Yeah, the Silvers. It's now being how shall I say, managed by their son. Okay, how do I go and see you guys? I don't see anybody.
Jose, you can't turn your soil more acidic by adding sulfur? You say that's not a good idea?
No. It is a couple of
okay.
things that you can do to change the pH of your soil. One would be depends on what direction you want it to go. You want to be acid, hard, or to be
Alkaline.
or alkaline. So depending on that, if you want to go to the acidic, sulfur is very good.
Okay.
Also, the aluminum sulfate, that will break the clay a little bit better. It works temporarily. I have to say that. The best thing that you can do for those type of things is to continue mulching. But yeah, there are ways of changing the pH naturally and chemically, which from the chemist point of view, it's the same thing, but one uses materials that came from a plant. The other one is materials that came from the ground. Same thing, the same materials, chemicals, but different delivery or different media that they are enclosed. And they're not as harsh. Actually, that's the other thing, that they tend to be less concentrated because they are at the right amount. Very good for the soil and for the tree. If you all of a sudden put it, let's say, a couple pounds of sulfur, you may kill the tree because it's too much.
Oh, yeah.
Then you need to add a handful or two of gypsum.
Yeah. Gypsum there are so many ways of safely modifying the soil. One that I used to use until my source was ferrosulfate. It is I used to buy it in bags of 50 pounds and store them. And I will sprinkle a little bit on each tree. And what it did, it changed the pH a little bit because of the sulfate. But the ferrous, we lack of iron in our soil. It will make my trees beautiful, dark green, and the fruit, it tended to be a little bit deeper color. But I haven't picked up any of that because Atos Chemical closed shop. And it used to be very cheap, something like $7 for 50 pounds. And you can't find that anymore.
Did you say Atlas Chemical closed down?
Yeah.
Oh, that's sad. Yeah.
It was an excellent source of ammonium nitrate, ammonia sulfate, all of these very targeted compounds that you would not add in large quantities, but you would fertilize. But again, you needed to know before you apply.
Was Atlas Chemical the one that was on Energy Way, or were they on Commercial in San Diego and about 22nd or 23rd.
Right by the Coronado Bridge.
On Energy Way?
Yes.
Okay, right.
Okay, anybody else have questions? I think, thanks, Jose. That was very informative and fun.
Thanks, Jose, very much.
Yeah, thanks, Kirby, for showing up. We had a great turnout. Like 36 people showed up, so that was wonderful.
It's really, I have to say, I was, in all honesty, I was a little bit nervous to see old friends.
Aww.
I miss you guys, but I needed to take care of myself, and I'm well. The reason for I went with the coins is because they meet closer to home.
Yeah.
So I'm thanks to John for encouraging me to come back and participate in the activities. So I'm very happy to do that.
Yeah, you've been a great help and really enjoyed everything you've done so far for the group. And
Thank you. It's great to see you again.
Thank you very much. It goes here. You can't imagine how happy I am.
okay, group. Well, have a safe Christmas if we don't talk to you soon. But we're going to be back on the 16th. Gray water recycling. So maybe that's an early Christmas present. Save everybody money. Reuse their water twice.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah. All righty. I got to turn off the recording and yeah, everybody have a good night and safe Christmas.
Thank you. God bless.
All righty.
Thank you very much.